So this, sorry. So this is my branded Destiny deck. So comment, subscribe, dislike, or like. Check out the links in the descriptions for other of my sites, other activities that I'm involved in. A whole bunch of Facebook groups you can check out. I play multiple card games, so I do music among other things, so check out the links in the description. So obviously in the OCG, Fusion Destiny has been banned. So if in the TCG they also ban the card, then of course this deck won't be playable as is if that happens. But until then, this is the current branded Destiny build. So we got 3 Gamecill, 3 Albaz, the Jester of Despia, 3 Fallen of the Albaz, 3 Springens Kit, 3 Branded Fusion, 3 Fusion Destiny, 3 Recalls, 3 Solemn Strike, 3 Red Screen, 1 Red Reboot, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Regeki, 1 Harpies, 1 Mind Control, 1 Day of Peace, 2 Destiny Hero Malicious, 1 Zambra the Dark, 1 Destiny Hero Disc Commander, 1 the Dark Hexio Fusion, and 1 Light the Hexio Fusion, 1 Relinquished Anima, 1 Link Creeble, 1 Secure Gardner, 1 Salamangreat Al Mirage, 1 Verde Atacanda, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Baron DeFleur, 1 Thousand Eyes Restrict, 1 Magic Key Beast, 1 Albion the Branded Dragon, 1 Lubion the Searing Dragon, 1 Destroy Phoenix, Enforcer DPE, right? 1 Mirror Jade the Ice Blade Dragon, 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and 1 The Last Warrior from Another Planet. Ironically, I don't actually summon this card. I probably had plenty of opportunities to summon it, but as you'll see, the main combo for this deck is mainly we're trying to get, we're trying to use Searing Dragon to help us get into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and then if we have a Fusion Destiny, then drop the DPE, right, the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. That way we can have two interrupts. Sometimes I forget that I need a card in my hand to use the negation ability of Red Eyes Dragoon. Yeah, that does happen sometimes. I forget that. So let's go into some gameplays. Hopefully I have these in order. Wait, exit out of that. Double check it. Am I recording? Yeah, recording. Sorry about that. Exit out of that. Show off combo number 1 so that we can see what I'm talking about. There's no guarantee you'll see these exact plays in the gameplay. So ideally, this is what you want to end up with. So we got a kaiju to get rid of any problematic card in case our opponent does manage to break our board and put something up problematic. At least we have this to take care of it, and we had the branded fusion to make another play because we do have another fusion we can go into, which is the other one, the Albine. But as you can see, we always go into Lubion, which I just call it the Light Dragon because it wants the dark type. So it's like up going to Light Dragon. Light Dragon gets us into Dragoon, and then with Fusion Destiny, we go into DPE, and as you can see, this is the ideal setup. And typically you want some back row, but this is the ideal ability. You want to have those 2 interrupts. Here's the next combo. This is with Instant Fusion. Well, I don't have Poly no more, but I was able to pull this off. So this is a pretty decent board if you have a basic fusion card. Let's play that again. Okay, again, so you can try to see it. It's kind of cool. Moving on. Essentially, just need a way to fuse. That was kind of cool. I took out the polymerization. Alright. So this is not an ideal hand. Obviously, I got some back row. Clearly, my opponent has the ability to go into DP himself. I did try the Dasher and Celestia version. But it really wasn't my thing because it's like I don't really need this ability to play out creature during my standby phase. It's like I'd rather use Malicious because at least Malicious I could play Malicious one out of my graveyard or from my deck I should say. So it's like he Valors. I set this. He does that. He's doing a lot of things that don't make much sense, but it's like not too surprising. Person probably doesn't know what he's doing, and he scoops. So clearly, I'm gonna go into my Verdant Anaconda play. So, see, got the Dragoon play, got the Malicious in the grave for a Verdant Anaconda play, which is why I use it because it's like I can use it as an extender. I just drew Malicious, so of course that's not gonna work out too well. But ironically, if I wanted to, I could have played Instant Fusion, use the Light Dragon. My opponent surrenders. Use the Light Dragon with Instant Fusion, and I could have made Verdant Anaconda, use Verdant Anaconda to send branded fusion, and then bring out. What I was saying. Do Verdant Anaconda and do Fusion Destiny, so that way I can bring out DPE, so I can have DPE and Dragoon out. So that's a line of play I could have done, but my opponent left the game before I can do something like that. But as you can see, I had the potential for it. So right off the bat, DPE, some interrupts. Very little damage. Could have prevented that with red screen, but I didn't want to play it because I didn't want to take the chance of my opponent playing a board wipe and getting rid of it. I'd rather save it. I'd rather save it for when I really need it. Let's see, settings. Mute the sound effects because that's loud noise preventing me, making it hard for you to hear me speak. Alright, so you see I'm clearly using DPE and using DPE, red screen, some strike. So I'm searching out for the branded fusion, so now I'm going off. Obviously I'm trying to bring out Dragoon, so I got Dragoon, DPE, obviously GG. I got some board control there. There's some cards obviously I was experimenting with. The final that didn't work. The final version of the deck obviously isn't using some cards because of course you always want to experiment and try things. Red Reboot turn 1. That really had to have made him mad. Because I'm going in. I got the Regeki. Well, I threw it away, but I could have kept it. You see what I'm saying? It's like I don't have any cards for a Dragoon, so well, that's happy without me having cards in my hands. But anyway, I have recall, which will be more than enough because as long as I'm stopping monsters, I'm good. Now here he does that. Obviously, he had the ability to do that. If I had a card in my hand, I could have prevented that play with Dragoon. It's a little misplay on my part. So go, I make this bad boy, get rid of that. Hitting for games. Points at 700. I get this bad boy. And he's the super poly of the deck, you know. It's a cool thing. You can play him and use your opponent's creature. Obviously, he does the Chimeric Fortress thing again. Effects triggering off. Bang. Attack the game. So, yeah. Lots of fun. Sound effects. Just lower it. There you go. Oh yeah, that's his side. Swap it over. Alright. Doing a lot of. Oh yeah, this match is going to be a little bit long. Is there a way of speeding this up? I mean, this is going to be kind of fast. This game. This is a replay, so it tends to go pretty fast. So I'm going in trying to deal as much damage as I can. Pop that to get it out of the way. So I can get some direct attacks in. Just trying to get as much damage as possible. Counts back. These Cyber Dragons. It's like pop pop. Plays that. Red screen just in case. Whatever he brings out. I don't have to worry about it attacking or it having some way of negating a red screen so that I can extend the game longer. Pop. Makes me wonder if I could have used that, if that will work to send him to the drop in order to fusion summon. But I don't know if I had one card. If I had no cards in my hand, which is why it didn't trigger, or just because he's unaffected, I couldn't actually use him for my effect. So there's a possibility. That's a big possibility that I probably just is unaffected. It's funny, like I went to negate his effect, but since he's unaffected, that was pointless. It was like, yep, you still get your ability. I was obviously trying out Living Fossil. Try some stuff, try to experiment. Because the goal is to bring back Thousand Eyes Restrict with Living Fossil. If I forget Living Fossil negates Thousand Eyes Restrict, so Thousand Eyes Restrict won't be the fence that I needed. So I'm doing this, and the goal was to rely on this to protect me instead of the trap card protect me. Have this protect me, but to no avail. So it's like, this doesn't have an effect with Living Fossil, so that was a bust. I try to see I can use Hexial Fusion's ability to summon something, but I couldn't summon anything at that point, so it's like, alright, just going to go on the defense. So, defending really, really hard. As you can see, I'm putting in a lot of effort to stay in the game. So DPE definitely putting in some work. Keep me in the game longer. Only had 1,500 life, so I'm not going to the Solemn Strike because I'll just kill myself in that regards. So as you can see, I just keep on defending, keep on defending. Also has Cyber Steam, but of course he's no use in this scenario since I have way too little life for that. Experimenting. My opponent currently has 6 cards left in his deck. He now has 5. I'm like, oh man, so close. He could have made something else, but then he makes this, and it's like, okay, well that's good. And he kills himself. As my goal was to eventually kaiju his big monster and then go for game, or deck him out. That was my two ways to try to win the game, was that route, but I didn't draw into that stuff yet, and I just had to keep stalling. But then he, decides to do that play he did. If he did Cyber End Dragon, which has, the ability to pierce, he would have won that. So I'm surprising that he didn't have the ability to go that route. I was like, oh man, I think he's trying to summon Cyber End Dragon, which would win him the game, but he didn't. Went Chimera Tech. He went to Chimera Tech. No, not Fortress. Chimera Tech Overlord Dragon. So this person is playing DDs, whatever he does there. Clearing the board with the Regeki, getting the Dragoon out, playing that, getting that, attacking, trying to get as much damage done as possible. Kept one card in my hand in case I needed the gates, obviously. He's at 500 life. And of course, I'm strong enough to kill him, so I attack for game. So that's how that played out. This is against some type of some Buster Blader Rocket deck. He tried to impermanence my play, so I read reboot. Red screen, I got my card in my hand for the negate. Just impermanence on this dragon. I was like, I don't care. This is the only one that I need to use to negate. So I keep letting him make all these plays, trying to bait out, but then he misplays clearly because then he makes this. I'm like, this looks like a misplay right here. That looks like a wrong play. Doesn't have a downward arrow, so that was a bad play. So of course he scoops. This is against Symphonics. It's a combo. So you can see it's pretty much the same strategy. Obviously you get Dragoon out there. Have at least one card in your hand to negate. Got red reboot. Got red screen. Since I didn't negate whatever else he did, he eventually scooped, I guess. Just hoping that these cards will help bait out my. So, yeah, we're back. Oops. Alright, wanted to bait out my negates. He's like, nope, not falling for that. This was an interesting match. Oh my god, this was so cool. You're gonna see some cool shit right here. I'm like, is this person really playing appliancers? And then it looks like he's really playing pure appliancer. But then it's like, oh, code breaker. Oh, code breaker. Oh shit. More code breakers. Oh shit, more code breakers. Red Eye kind of, oh, we know what's coming. Like, bang, got the red eyes, like, oh, Dragoon. And then he has Griffin, so he's like, alright, Griffin and Dragoon. Griffin prevents monsters' special summon from the extra deck from using their effect, so of course I don't get this effect. I bring this out. by using my fallen Albaz to get rid of his Griffin to bring this out. And then I use this to get rid of Dragoon, because apparently this ability to banish something apparently doesn't target, because this should have the either player can target this card with card effect. So the fact that that worked, I'm like, oh shit, that worked. You know, I actually commented that to my opponent in the chat, like, oh shit, that worked. I'm like, really? I can break that board? Like, these were really two really good card monsters, and it's like, I could break the board with that. So pretty much just falling Albaz, right? Just falling Albaz will help me get rid of this thing, so I can bring this out, and then this can get rid of that. And then afterwards, after doing that, then I could have done the brandish thing to bring this out and then bring out Dragoon. So it's like, well, now I know annoying's half the battle, right? So that's a lesson learned. I wasn't too sure that any of that was going to work out, but it did. It's like, oh, okay, now I know. Now I know how to break that type of board just with Falling the Albaz. So that lets you know how powerful Falling the Albaz is. This was an interesting match. You're going to be surprised how it ends. Woo! But that one card right there makes a huge difference. I'm trying to be slick, but then he had the sound strike. I'm like, oh, you got me. Strike. Now the red screen is active. The skill drain is active. I bring that out. I trigger his effect just to see if I get lucky, which you can see I did, because my opponent literally Torrential Tribute, which caused my ability to still resolve because the creature was not on the field for skill drain to negate it. So I was able to bring out Dragoon, but Dragoon doesn't have none of its can't be destroyed by card effects or can't be targeted ability, because skill drain strips it of those abilities. So that's why it was able to be destroyed. So I got some strike, got DPE out there. Interesting enough, DPE, can't use his ability because it targets 2 cards and then destroys them. So its skill drain stops that. So there's the guy with still play. Stop that play with a recall. Tries to pop my back run, I let it. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna pay 15 to stop that. Regeki, I can attack directly, and he does that. So then replay happens, I kill it. So he still has this Conquistador he hasn't used yet. He just did a play to bring this bad boy out as a 3500. Of course, I'll be able to bring back my DPE. He does a combo to pop it to trigger my effect. I do 1 day of peace, and here's what's going to get interesting. Of course, that gets negated. I was testing out just to see if it'll work even under the effect of skill. You always want to try stuff. You should never know. It could work. And, you want to learn. So you see, he finally was able to warp my DPE. Now, what happened here, ironically, was the fact that dealt no damage, and my opponent was unaware of my 1 day of peace effect and didn't know what was going on. And I jokingly was like, God mode. So that's what I told my opponent, is that I'm on God mode right now. And they scooped. Which was funny. So it's like, even though he was in the winning position, I ended up getting the W because he scooped. Because he was unaware of my card effect. The power of 1 day of peace. Which ironically I just added prior to playing that game. So the fact that it came in handy for me to use it to survive a turn, because he had a pretty strong turn, but then my opponent scoops because he, didn't end me out in that turn, even though already, it's like, he's probably still going to win. You're probably going to win the following turn. So you got there, but he scooped, so I get the W. That's the end of the video.